is a contained political thriller with social commentary, but it's also a sports movie. Remember I said that earlier? And I'll explain it now. Going back to the well can be dangerous when you're writing a screenplay. For example, if you're writing flashbacks in your screenplay and you keep going back to the same scene over and over again, you better be giving us new information each time, expanding it from a different perspective or going a little farther. If not, as a reader, we're going to get really frustrated and say that this is boring. This is not going anywhere. There's no progress. But he's able to go back to the well here, and it's okay because of the sports element that he's added. Think about this. We see the same scene 6 times when we read Conclave, the voting. And it's the same thing over and over again. All of the cardinals sit down and cast their vote. Then they walk it up one by one. Then they do their vow. Then they hand it and put it in the bowl. Then the vote counters count it and they pin it with the needle. Then they announce the tallies and then they put it in the fireplace for the smoke. All right. First time you see it, you're like, wow, that's cool. That must be really how it happens. Second time you see it, you're like, oh, okay. Again, if this kept happening and we didn't have the sports element, you'd probably be like, okay, I've seen this already. I'm sick of it. Here's an example of what it looks like on the film.
Cardinale Tremblay. Cardinale Tremblay. Cardinale Tedesco. Cardinale.
The reason why it doesn't bother you in this screenplay and in this film is because of the sports element. Because at the end, they're giving you the score, and the score is constantly changing. And we love being able to see our characters scored and see those scores go up and down. It gives us a clear understanding of how they're doing in the screenplay, in the movie. So you're willing to read a page or sit through a minute of something you've seen before because you know there's a payoff at the end. Now what's the score? It's the bottom of the 5th. I need to check in. All right, so now you can tell your friends that Conclave is a sports movie. They won't believe you. The reason why this is such a good screenplay and why I believe it was nominated for an Academy Award and already won several awards for being a great screenplay, it's because of these storylines, these fully fleshed out strings that we can pull on. I mean, think about all the things that are in this story. You have a missing report, a previous sexual scandal which has reemerged, a mystery cardinal that no one knows who he is or why he's there. Terrorism, there's a bomb that goes off in the middle of it. You talk about a thriller. Social maneuvering by the nuns and the priest, and like everyone has their social place, but we know that that's not appropriate. And then the political maneuvering, which is the big part of the story. All of these people who would do anything to be the Pope, but they have to pretend like they don't want to be the Pope or else they could never be the Pope. These cast of characters give us everything that we could possibly want. You have the corrupt cardinal, Tremblay. You have the tyrannical cardinal, Tedesco. You have the abusive cardinal, Adame. You have the reluctant cardinal, Lawrence, our main character. And you have the manipulative cardinal, Bellini. And the mystery cardinal, Benitez. So you could take a cast of characters like this and put them in any setting, like a pirate ship or an old saloon or an elementary school, when you have a corrupt one and a tyrant one and an abusive one and a reluctant one and a manipulative one and a mystery one, and have all types of stories. So this is a fully fleshed out story and it all comes together beautifully. You could tell reading the screenplay that Straughan knows what he's doing. I mean, obviously, he's an Academy Award nominated screenwriter, but he's doing some next level stuff. For example, he hides the big revelation about the major plot twist when it is about to be first revealed. And rather than letting a minor character give that powerful emotional information, he allows it to come from the 2 main characters. This happens when Lawrence receives this major twist from his secretary, O'Malley, who is in the screenplay quite a bit, but he is a minor character. And a lot of writers would have allowed O'Malley to just tell Lawrence that and think that that's a good idea, because now there's this dread, like, oh no, what's going to happen, because he has to go confront the new pope. It doesn't really rob from the drama of the previous scene. In fact, I think it adds to it because we don't really know what's going on yet. And the other thing it does is we get to see Lawrence, his humanity and his empathy as he is talking about this to the new Pope. And from the Pope's perspective, we are allowed to have him explain himself in his own words and show his own courage. He also does a great job with specificity. You know, in screenwriting, you always want to be as specific as possible without slowing down the screenplay with unnecessary information. And he hits a pretty good tone here doing that. Here's a good example on page 52. And he says the canister of potassium percolate, anthracene, and sulfur activate with a swoosh. The only thing that shows up in the film is the swoosh. You don't have to know about the chemicals, but as a reader, it makes it more real, makes it more interesting.